saw footprints from those very same shoes next to both the Jim murders.
Unless you're telling me that shoe is a limited edition, I'm gonna need something else.
One of the thugs that attacked me the other night had a snout just like his.
I'm sorry, but you can't incriminate someone based solely on species. What else you got?
What more do you need? I've given you 4 pieces of evidence.
None of which are conclusive.
He tried to throw me off the rooftop.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. He's our man.
No, he's not our man.
Make up your mind.
He's just a puppet. Someone is pulling his strings.
Could it be Yale?
No, I'm still certain. He's innocent. By the way, was he discharged? His room is empty.
They let him out yesterday. He's in police custody now. You can tell he's an athlete. Made quite the comeback. Anyone else would have taken 10 times as long. Anyway, he better be fine. You know they've ordered me to escort him to Madison Square Garden on the day of the fight.
That's the first I hear of it.
Quick, what do you want? Good cop or bad cop?
I'm the good guy.
Good thing someone took out the trash.
No wonder you were saved by garbage, you piece of trash. But you're gonna wish it hadn't.
Go to hell, you dog.
My partner is right. We'll ruin your life.
Uh-huh. Yep. Unless you collaborate, that is. We know you killed Joe Dunn and Mary Purnell, you bastard.
I'll call your bluff. You ain't got nothing.
Are you acquainted with our usual witness program? For a modest sum, they'll say they saw your sorry snout when and where we tell them to.
We're no strangers to false evidence. We could arrest your sorry ass for more crimes than you've committed.
Although it is odd that my partner won't offer you a deal in exchange for telling us who hired you.
What can you offer me?
How much is your life worth to you?
Don't pay attention to him, Mr. Lee. We aren't vigilantes. But we can significantly reduce your sentence.
You're pathetic. Is that why you never got in the police force, Blacksad? Did you fail the good cop, bad cop test? I won't say a word. And believe me, you stand to lose. Care for a piece of advice? If I were you, I'd fear for my life. I'm afraid that...
Whoa!
Watch out! Luckily, Smirnov's wound wasn't as bad as Randall's. Unfortunately, the police found nothing on the nearby rooftops. Our best shot at finding the killer was gone, so I went back to my previous lead.
My mother got sick and we moved here. I loved reading stories about pirates, so my father drew a treasure map for me. I searched the whole house, one clue at a time. It led me to this enormous tree in the yard where Daddy had put up a tire swing.
Hello, Smirnoff residence.
You're
Let's
dead.
get
No, I got you with my lasso.
Can you quiet down, kids?
Dunn got killed for stirring the hornet's nest.
And you confessed your crime.
Kids, please.
He'd been investigating athletes for months, including Helen Moore and Al Stone, among others. And Dunn's notes aren't all that clear, and I'm not sure what he was after. But I'd say we're facing a widespread corruption case.
Well, if you're right, that could be some dangerous evidence. Bring it here ASAP.
Sure, but there's something important that I need to finish first. I wanted to follow a certain lead on my own before Smirnov had the chance to see anything. According to his notebook, Dunn had seen Craig Spano at Sam's Diner just 4 days before his death.
Scram, you son of a bitch!
I'm sorry about what happened to Mary.
You're sorry? I'm the one who's sorry. You know what it's like to run this place alone? What the hell do you care, anyway? Beat it!
It might have been easier to slap the information out of him, but I decided to trust in a universal truth. Everyone is guilty of something. You don't know who I am, right?
Don't know and don't care! Come on, spit it out!
I'm John H. Blackmore from the Consumer Protection Office.
Oh, yeah, right. There are some real freaks around here, so I have to be firm, you know? Have you eaten? Dinner's on the house.
Only if you don't treat me like the rest of your clients. You have far too many complaints. Will you cooperate?
Sure, go ahead. Your call. Always at your disposal, Inspector. Ask away.
Fear turned him soft and made him talk. Sure enough, Dunn had been there a few days back with a chimpanzee who matched Spano's description. Apparently, the guy still lived with his father. Dunn said he couldn't stay there a day more. For the time being, he would move into his place.
Wait a minute here. What does consumer protection have to do with that chimp?
The chimp died of food poisoning,
But wait, he didn't even eat.
which is even worse. Dunn had taken Spano to his place. I wanted to believe that when Randall Lee broke into the apartment, Spano fled to his former address. But where could that be? I gotcha. If the living have rich and poor neighborhoods, so do the dead. In the mid-19th century, Greenwood became the resting place to the city's most distinguished citizens. Thinkers, scientists, writers, inventors, artists, businessmen, politicians, police officers, thieves, pimps, and murderers. Here lie the bodies of the soulless minds that raised New York from the ground up. Now you know where to go to become somebody in the Big Apple. According to the book I found at Dunn's place, fans of the sport leave baseballs on Bradwick's tomb to pay their respects. Still hot. The four bases guarding their father. If this had been here over 30 minutes, it'd be covered in ants. A Celtic cross. Supposedly, the ring keeps the devil at bay by reflecting the sunlight. Really handy at this time of the day. I've never trusted angels. When they fall, the world falls with them.
I've always been a New York Warriors fan, although to be honest, they're not what they used to be. Yep, they just haven't been the same without Craig Spano. I'm investigating a case of sports corruption. I think a considerable amount of athletes are involved, both current celebrities and former stars. I found a baseball glove at Joe Dunn's place. A glove signed by a great star. I couldn't believe my luck.
Marley's are the absolute worst. Who are you?
I'm John Blackside, private investigator.
How's Joe?
One question at a time. It's my turn.
Your turn.
What was your glove doing at Dunn's place?
Because Dunn said he was shaking the hornet's nest, that sooner or later they'd come after me. Because they wanted to kill me. Because he offered me his home. And then vanished. Because I waited for him for 2 days and then they came to get me. Because I had no time to take my glove when I escaped through the window.
What did he want from you? And who wants to kill you?
One question at a time. How's Joe?
What would happen if I told him the truth? Would he lose it? Could I take that chance? Joe Dunn is dead. Murdered.
I told you, Joe. How did it happen?
One question at a time. My turn. What did Dunn want from you?
He wanted to know who was playing dirty in the sporting business. Dirtier than usual, that is. Wrecked lives, careers, ruined at the top of their game. He wanted to know if the same had happened to me. He wanted to know if the end of my career and my disappearance had anything to do with all that. He wanted me to confirm who was behind it all. The guy who had him killed. Our old friend, the surgeon.
Is Mitchell the surgeon? Is he the person behind all of this? That surgeon you mentioned, is he...
My turn. I want to know why I should trust you.
Do it for Joe Dunn, our common friend. It's my turn. That surgeon that you mentioned, is he in this photo I got here? Ow! Hey! Hey, that toss was... Both my ear and my self-esteem would hurt for days. But at least I had a new lead to follow, the surgeon. The bastard had avoided my scrutiny by passing as a hospital doctor. But now, all of my senses were on guard. No matter how good the disguise or how well he hid, I would find him.
So, what you're saying is, one, there's a corruption scandal involving all kinds of athletes. Two, our puppet master is a surgeon named Mitchell, a man who happened to fight in the war with Dunn, right?
Every lead I've found points to him.
Anyway, where was I? Number 3, right? 3. Since Dunn was on his trail, Mitchell hired an anteater to get rid of him. Then, since you were also shaking the wasp's nest, he went after you. But the anteater made a mistake, and Mitchell killed him to cover his own tracks. And, wait, 4. The key to all this lies with a common friend of Dunn's and Mitchell's, Craig Spennow. Do you really trust him?
I think everything he said was true. It adds up and confirms everything I've found so far.
4. No, I mean 5. Dunn was murdered 4 days after taking Spennow to his house. If that doesn't make him suspect, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could make sense.
Ha! Who's the detective now? Let's follow up with the suspects. You told Smirnoff you're convinced that Yale is innocent. But what about O'Leary? 6.
O'Leary wouldn't have sent Randall to kill Dunn. He would have dragged him to his basement, given him his little speech, and then killed him himself. Nah, I know O'Leary, and he wouldn't have sent a hitman. He would have taken matters into his own hands.
What about Cassidy? 7, right?
I think it's safe to rule out Cassidy as Dunn's murderer. He seems too impulsive to have planned such a twisted crime. Whoever planned the whole thing knew the suicide theory would fall through, so he manipulated the clues to incriminate Yale. Cassidy is too impulsive to pull off such an intricate plan.
So, you're right. Mitchell is the one pulling the strings. And you know why? Because in novels, the murderer is always someone the detective knows from the beginning.
Well, that could be the case in British novels. You know, where everyone in the mansion where the murder took place is a suspect. But this might just be an American whodunit, where the detective doesn't even meet the culprit until the last scene.
You mean we still don't know who's pulling the strings?
I didn't say that. How did it go with Helen Moore?
I didn't get anything, even though it started out really well. I asked to interview her along with her boyfriend, Al Stone. Since I'm a big shot, they were happy to oblige. Perfect. Now, time for the interview. I'll go back and forth so you don't get bored. So, who goes first? Here's one for Helen. Dating a boxer can be dangerous. Aren't you afraid that those blows to the head will take a toll on his intellectual capacity?
Honey, take a look at my man and then look at yourself. You really think I'm with him because of his intellectual capacity?
Helen!
Write this down. Nothing will change my man. His smarts, manliness, and integrity are all boxing proof.
Okay, now. Here's a question for Al. In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Yeah, sure.
My Al is going to kick that thug's behind. Isn't that so, honey?
Yeah, well, we'll see. No such thing as a weak rival.
Nonsense. You are and will be world champion. Next question.
Moving on. Okay, Helen. What can you say about the rumors that claim you were in a relationship with Desmond O'Leary?
Oh, honey. It would be such a shame to mention that shady character in your article, wouldn't it?
Well, why?
I'm sure your newspaper would hate to fire someone as talented as you.
Oh. Okay. Now what? So, Al. Are you ever jealous about sharing your sweetheart with America?
Yeah,
Nonsense. America has my smile, my figure, and my patriotic love. Everything else, and I mean everything, belongs to Al. Right, baby?
yeah, that's right.
Okay, one more question, and
Al, honey, can you answer it? I've got to go say hi to a fan. I'll be right back, Mr. Pulitzer.
Wait. You mean she stopped smiling when that fan showed up?
yeah.
Could you describe him for me?
I'll be able to show you something as soon as I'm done developing these pictures. And actually, I thought it was odd too. So while I continued to interview Stone, I managed to take some pictures of Moore and whoever her mysterious fan was. All right, so where were we? Your manager is Frank Cassidy, president of the Boxing Managers Association of New York. According to him, only boxers working with member managers should be allowed to compete. What do you think about that?
Cassidy is a great manager, really. No complaints there. And the work he's putting in as president of the association is really valuable. But, I don't know, maybe in this case, Joe Dunn was right. Wait, no. Could you keep that last comment off the record? You know, on the down low.
My lips are sealed. In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Well, supposedly the odds are in my favor, but there's no such thing as a weak rival. And, you know, Bobby Yale might be young and going through a rough patch, but he's had an amazing streak, so I'll do my best.
Let's get that picture taken. Okay, now raise your head and your arms up like you were celebrating a victory.
Like these?
Exactly. Wait, I accidentally moved. Stand still. I'll take another one. What's with me today? Don't move, please.